Good morning. I'm chilling here again at the pool. It's actually a little bit raining, but the sun is still shining and it's a warm day. Today I had really good training and I actually do feel my body getting a little bit accustomed to it. I actually had yesterday a rest day. No, a recovery day. Tomorrow is rest day, and recovery meaning I only had one training session and was basically sleeping the whole afternoon and playing Uncharted on my ROG Xbox Ally, which is why the training this morning at 7 a.m. was actually really good and not as exhausting. And I had actually a really good trainer that showed me a couple of things that I needed to improve. And later this afternoon, I will go to training again. And I thought this would be a really good opportunity to kind of do a little bit of a review of the Superbon Muay Thai Academy. So first and foremost, I actually plan to go to the Superbon Muay Thai camp, which is the completely different district of Bangkok. But although I already had a hotel booked in that area, fortunately I saw that they were closing the camp for renovation during this time where I'm here. So I was like, oh no, I need to go to the Muay Thai Academy. And then I found this hotel and I only needed 3 minutes to the academy. And I have to say, I'm really happy that this, in air quotes, unfortunate event of them closing down the camp forced me to go to the academy. The academy is inside this huge fitness complex where you have paddleboard courts, tennis courts outside, and I don't know what else there is, some like physical doctors and stuff, and obviously the Superbon Muay Thai Academy. And it's extremely clean and a lot of fun to train there. There has no AC, which I personally really like because I do feel like when you train Muay Thai, you sweat a lot, and having an AC is, in my humble opinion, not great for your health when you are sweating that much. So actually, whenever you get out of the gym and go into the sports complex, there is an AC on, and it's so cold that you could actually get sick if you go there sweating. So I always have my jacket there. So first and foremost, it's my small little toad is flying away because it's so windy. Let me just secure it a little bit. So yeah, the gym is really clean. They have this huge fan on top. So no AC, but this fan that kind of gives a lot of circulation, airflow within the gym. And they have sessions at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. So, and in between they have a break, but also time for private sessions, which I actually planned to book. But, and this is really important, if you go to the 7 a.m. class, I do understand that is really early and many people probably don't really like that. But first and foremost, it's not that hot. And more importantly, I actually had 2 occasions, and one we were only 2 people, and on the other one we were 4 or 5. So you basically have all of the trainers for yourself, and it's almost a private session, which transitions me to the trainers. The trainers are really good. Not only are they obviously very skilled because they are, as far as I understand, the team of Superbon, the professional fighter. So they are all very knowledgeable, and everyone is really nice and very focused because there are so many. They have the time to kind of look at what you're doing and kind of see, okay, do this, improve there and here and there. In the beginning, they were, let's say, a little bit hesitant with me because there are obviously a lot of people that only go there for a day. Now they have seen me multiple days, they have seen me shadowboxing, and they kind of were able to see, okay, where's my skill set at? So they use, in the camp that I've been previously, 2 years ago in Chiang Mai, they use the shadowboxing to kind of gauge your skill level. And then they position you within the group, how to train you, basically. And they look at your skill level and they see, okay, what could we do with that person and where could we improve that. So I really like that. And again, I actually wanted to book a private session, but I do feel like going to the 7 a.m. classes gives me so many opportunities to actually learn a little bit more. And I've seen those private sessions, while they are okay, I feel like it's not specifically necessary for me. Especially if I go to the 7 a.m. classes. If I would have gone only to the afternoon classes, which are packed. So the 3 o'clock group session is really full. It's so full that they kind of split you up into groups, where one group is doing back work and the other group is doing pad work, and then they switch it around, which actually doesn't happen in the 7 a.m. classes. So I get to how the classes are structured in just a second. If I would only go to the afternoon sessions, I feel like, yes, then I would book a private session to get some more detailed feedback, because those classes in the afternoon are so packed that the trainers potentially don't have that much time to kind of look at your technique. And I really like the details into which they go in these classes. So let's break it up. So what you first do is, which to me is a little bit backwards, but that's just how they do it here in Thailand. You stretch first. Personally, I rather kind of warm up first and then stretch. But first you stretch, and then you do some warm up by either running around the gym and then doing rope skipping, or you do jumping jabs and then rope skipping. Afterwards, they ask you to wrap your hands, which I feel like in the beginning, now I do see some people doing it the same way after they saw me, because I usually have been the first person in class. I've wrapped my hands before the class starts, because I like to take my time to make it neatly, and more importantly, I don't want to kind of let anyone wait. So, but this is what they do here. So after warm up, they tell you, hey, wrap your hands, and then we do 2 rounds of shadow boxing and do either sit-ups and push-ups in between the shadow boxing. 3-minute shadow boxing, push-ups, then a couple of seconds rest, then again shadow boxing. Afterwards, they ask you to get your gloves, and depending on the size of the class, you do pad works. Or if it's bigger, as I said, they split it up. Some half go to the heavy bags and the other ones go to the pads. And on the pads, you basically get a trainer. That trainer had the opportunity to kind of gauge your skill level. And then they will just shout commands at you and hold the pads, and you basically do what they ask you to do, either be it a jab, a cross, or kick, whatever it might be. The hard thing in the beginning is to kind of calibrate yourself to the trainer in terms of their language. So they obviously speak Thai, and some of them speak English, some of them don't, and the pronunciation of some things like 10 kicks, left, knee, jab, elbow, hook is sometimes so difficult to understand that, again, you need to kind of calibrate yourself to the trainer to kind of figure out, okay, what did he actually say and what does he actually want? So, for example, the way they hold the pad for an upper elbow or an uppercut is only a small little degree margin. So, and the word upper elbow and uppercut sounds really similar. So sometimes I do an uppercut, although he wanted me to do an upper elbow, which can be a little bit of a confusing mess. But it once you kind of calibrate it to the language, it is really good training. It's not only cardio, but also obviously they figure out, okay, what are your mistakes? How can we improve that? And I really like the attention to detail. So I think it's kind of important to acknowledge that this is the Superbon Muay Thai Academy. the Superbon Muay Thai camp already, because Superbon is a fairly known and famous pro fighter. Just because this name is attached to the camp, it is important to acknowledge that this is probably not the cheapest camp. And the academy, because it's here in Sukhumvit, which is, as far as I can see, one of the richer areas. That also means that the pricing is a little bit higher. So compared to other Muay Thai schools, and especially if you go outside of Bangkok to areas like Chiang Mai, or I don't know, where it's, let's say, a little bit more rural and not this big city life, you would expect a cheaper fee. So I think I've seen some, I don't know the exact prices for a monthly membership, but I felt like it was kind of crazy. The pricing is crazy, but if you, I honestly do feel like when you're here on vacation like I am, and you buy like a package, for example, I, for some reason, instead of going with the weekly package, which potentially would have been a little bit better price-wise, I went for the 10 plus 1 package because I wanted to have some flexibility, because I just didn't know how capable I would be to actually do 2 trainings per day. So I went for the 10 plus 1 package, which is 7,000 baht. I put the conversion here somewhere. So it is actually fairly comparatively high price, but I do feel like when you are here on a vacation, it's totally worth it. Again, I love the attention to detail. The training is really effective from my personal opinion, and I don't do this often, so I do feel like investing money in this kind of training is worth it. And especially this was also my focus when I went to Chiang Mai. For me, it was really, really important to go to a camp that is clean, because I don't know how the percentage is, but it is hot, it is humid, and it can be a close combat sport where you kind of have maybe some cuts, and bacteria can get into your cuts, and it's not unlikely to get a staph infection in hotter climates and combat sports. So for me, I wouldn't want to kind of risk being in a, let's say, more effective and rougher Muay Thai camp, but having the potential risk of getting a staph infection and only being here for 11 days. That would be, I just don't want to risk it. That is not to say that you could not get a staph infection in a clean gym as well, especially if you utilize, so many people don't travel with their gloves. So the first thing one of the staff told me when they saw me, why do you have such a big bag? And the reason, I have the North Face Basecamp duffel in size L. So it's a huge bag because I travel with all of my gear. I take care of my gear. I know it's disinfected. Yes, I know I need to travel with a huge bag, but I don't want to kind of use the gear that so many other people potentially have sweated into. This is just not that something that I would like. And if you are that kind of person that uses all of that used gear, I would argue maybe, for example, I have a huge cut here on my pinky because I hit so hard. And I would dare to say if I would use one of the, in air quotes, public gloves, there would be a risk of this getting infected. But I know my gloves, I always disinfect them after the training. When I get to the hotel, I disinfect them again, try to dry them out as good as possible, clean my hands, go into the gloves with clean hands. So I just know the risk is much lower. But again, that's the reason why I prefer those cleaner gyms. With such a short period of time, I don't think it's worth it. If I would be here 3 months, probably different story, especially money wise. I would go to a cheaper gym. Because, as I said, the monthly fee for the Superbon Muay Thai Academy is extremely high. So I wouldn't be able to afford that. But I mean, it's basically this area, in that court. So the gym is in that area, and in that area there are 2 malls where we have things like Gucci, Balenciaga, and stuff like that. So if you go into this area and you expect to kind of train cheap and go shopping cheap, no. It's basically European or American prices here. It's not going to be a cheap vacation. But as I said, I don't go to vacation that often. So I feel like it's okay to invest that money, because this is definitely an investment. I learned so much and the sparring is really good. Although I would love to, for the last 2 sessions, I sparred with novice people. I would love to spar with some higher skilled people. But yeah, maybe let's see what happens this week. Yeah, so all in all, my final verdict: the Superbon Muay Thai Academy, clean, great trainers, a little bit pricey, but totally worth it. I can highly recommend it, especially if you're able to get into an accommodation that is very close by. So I only need 3 minutes walking, and so I totally save any transportation costs going there. So I'm in the Ariston Hotel, which is, it's medium priced, it's clean, but it shows its age. I would still say I save a little bit of money here in the hotel and invest it in training, and that's totally fine by me. All right, so that was my verdict, my review of the Superbon Muay Thai Academy. So have you trained at Superbon? Let me know. If you have any questions, also comment below. And if you want to see my last video, check it up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. That way we see each other in the next video. Thank you very much.